All right. Yeah, we're back. Not a whole
Yeah.
lot going on in the markets today, but we'll check in as usual. We'll do a little live trading. James, welcome.
Yeah.
Guys,
What's up, guys?
$50,000 Maven account for the best question. Let's start it off with a question to you, James. What was the first thing you did when you got profitable?
What was the first thing I did when I got profitable?
Yeah.
Probably spend less time on the charts, bro. Yeah, that's probably the first thing I did.
Spend less. So you're like, you got bored of it.
I got bored of it, bro. I probably sit over here like actively trading for like 2 hours max a
Yeah.
day right now. Like I'm not looking to trade all day every single day. I might be a bit more aggressive on like challenge accounts and that like later on in the session, but after like 12 o'clock Eastern time, I'm kind of done.
Yeah. That's actually a decent talking point right there is the way you trade on a challenge account versus a funded account or a personal account,
It's completely different.
completely different. Explain the difference of how you approach it.
Sure. So I'm not saying in terms of the trades that I take, but in terms of like the sizing that I use. So if on like a challenge account, you pay whatever you pay. Let's just say hypothetically it was $500. The worst that you can do is lose $500, right? So I'm not trying to sit on the challenge account, at least for me where I'm at in my trading for 2 months. I'm not making any money from it. So I'm trying to maybe scale into winning trades, stuff like that. So I'm a bit more aggressive on that, like adding into like a winning trade, or even if it like dollar cost averaging. But on the funded accounts, I'm literally taking one position and trying to make money on it every single day. Like even if it's like $200 times 3 accounts, well, that's $600 across my live accounts.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play. Yeah. My approach is very much like I want to get through the challenge as fast as possible because I'm not making money in the challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah. You want to follow the firm's rules, right? Maven, for example, we have 3 minimum days, right? So you break it into 3 days, right? And if you have to make 8% target, well, I shoot for 3% each day. The last day is your glory day where you only need 2, right? 3%, 3%, 3%, and you're good to go, right? I like to use the full margin that I'm allowed, so I'll risk the full 4% in the day to make 3%. That's better than 50-50 odds if I'm just randomly clicking buttons, so I should be able to do it. Right?
Yep.
Get through within a week, right? It might take a loss, right? Within a week.
Yeah. But again, like I think a talking point on this as well, Hunt, is like challenges or even like prop firm accounts, you're not going to keep them for a year. Like it's not going to happen. Yeah. I think the longest account that I've personally kept was like 2 years, but I mean, I was trading it very small on it, trying to make like 1 to 2% a month on it, literally. But I even ended up losing that because I wanted to size up. You're not going to keep prop firm accounts for years at a time. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Especially if you're trading the futures market. Like I know a lot of people, you prefer the CFDs.
Sure. Right? I prefer the CFDs. Yes.
Yeah. And the CFDs are super easy to keep compared to the futures because the futures, they have
especially the two-step, especially the two-step accounts.
Yeah, the two-step account, once you're funded, you could, in theory, you could stay funded and then just keep it like a $8,000 drawdown forever. Right.
Well, you could, but I don't personally do that. I like make money, and then every 2 weeks I just take even if it's like $2,000-$3,000. That's what I do. I take payouts every 2 weeks on those accounts, and I don't try and be aggressive on them.
Yeah. What's do you really size down when you're funded?
Yeah, I do. I go to 0.5% risk max.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to put my account into drawdown that I might have spent like a week trying to pass.
Yeah, fair. You got $100,000 account. You'll risk $500.
Yeah.
Each trade, you might take a few trades throughout the 2 weeks before you get a payout, right?
And if I'm up if I'm up 2% or more, I just like, cool, I'm happy with that. I'll take the payout. And then you obviously do that across like I've got 3 live accounts at the moment, but you do that across. I'm trying to get some more, but you do that across 3, it's decent money.
So the strategy then you're using is insanely different. You're using higher. You're going as fast as possible sort of thing, and then you're going as slow as possible.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah, I get that. I think a lot of traders are like that, and I think a lot of traders confuse, and they kind of do the opposite actually, and it's unadvisable, I suppose. Is they go really slow in the challenge because they want to make sure they get funded, and then once they're funded, they got the dopamine hit, and now they got all this excitement. And they're like, boom, time to make money. and then they risk everything and they blow it, right?
I don't think that's the. I'm just like, cool. Let's just say I've got $2,000 to spend on for the month. I'm like, perfect. I'll buy 4 100K accounts at $500 each. I got 4 chances to pass and get funded. And then once I'm funded, I'll just slow down and make sure. If let's just say I pass on the 4th time, I just need 1 payout to make back the money that I spent, and then you got the account, you know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Totally. You just need 1 to get funded, basically, out of 25% chance, right?
Yeah.
That's perfectly reasonable. Okay.
And the reason I also say it like that, Hunter, is like you also say things that it's the truth, but many traders don't want to hear. I say it like that because it is the truth, but many traders don't want to hear it, right? Like no one passes a challenge account or 2-step account 100% of the time. I think my pass rate's probably at like 50%, bro.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I haven't really traded in many prop, just a couple here and there this year. I guess it's 6 months into the year already. Holy!
I know, dude. It's actually crazy. We need to do another meetup, bro, for sure.
Yeah. If I was in a better location, it'd be a.
You need to come to South Africa.
Yeah, both of us are way too far. From any like room, like these are not trading centers. You're in a surf town in South Africa.
Yeah.
I'm on an island on the edge of the world. Right.
Exactly.
Both of us have to travel for 2 days just to get to New York, right?
Dude.
Yeah. Cool. Let's maybe just talk markets right now then. Hey.
Sure.
I'm gonna pull up my screen and then we'll get into some questions. This one here, I think. Yeah. Charts. Okay. Onto the stage. Cool. So we're currently rejecting slightly off that all-time high. Would you be buying now or waiting for a pullback, you think?
Dude, I think it's a bit too high for me to buy up here. You know, this is actually in these type of moments where I actually go like to the DAX personally, and I'd look to trade that because it's sitting at a better spot in terms of like looking for positions personally. But yeah, I mean, it's too hard for me to buy up here, 655. Like the DAX is probably sitting at a better point to maybe look to buy.
Well, the DAX should be closing now, right? It's only a London session.
Yeah. I'm saying like tomorrow London session or so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's zero chance I am ever trading the DAX. But a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like it closes at 8 a.m. my time. So
yeah,
you know, so the NQ really does me well. And I've been with these markets where, you know, it's just going straight up. A lot of people aren't like they have that approach that you kind of have right now is, hey, it's at the all-time high. I don't really know what to target. You know, and I think this is really good training for a lot of traders is, you know, you get to see the potential of, you know, like how easy it is when things just keep making new highs, right?
Yep.
And you need to factor that into your trading. Normally, you know, if the markets are, I'm going to go back to the NASDAQ. Normally, if the markets are kind of up and down like this, like the past couple of days have been a little bit sideways, and you can take profits at those highs, right? Buy again on the lows, you know, and just follow the trends still. But you would want to be taking profits. But because the markets have been just crazy bullish, like there's no point in taking profits in my opinion right now. You might as well just, well, I've been holding the QQQ for months now, right? Just because there's no point in even closing it until, you know, there's a decent reason to not. And, you know, if we're looking at, you know, the only day that maybe you wanted to close these out was, you know, what was this, May 14th, May 15th, you know what I mean? 2 weeks ago, you might have wanted to close some out, and I think I did, and then re-added, but you know, there's been no structure breaks. There's been no, if you're trading the trend lines, you know, this is if I want to throw, I'm actually curious, like this is,
I was actually also we were speaking about this a little bit beforehand, but ES has actually had 8 bullish weeks in a row at the end of last week. It's the first time it's happened since 1990, which is pretty crazy, dude.
8 bullish weeks since 1990. Yeah.
So what? Time since 1990. Yeah.
Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not bullish. 7.
Let's have a look here.
8, 9. I think you got your ES. Is it NASDAQ?
No, nope. ES, not NASDAQ. Yeah,
ES I've got ES had a bearish week.
I've got it as a bullish. That's interesting.
No way. Here, maybe. Yeah,
let me share my screen. Yeah,
I have that. Okay, yeah, you put your screen on. I'll
there we go. I got the continuous contract on. Can you see that?
Let me put yours on here. Oh, I gotta take mine off.
So we got 1, 2. So we got. There we go. So we got 1.
Yeah, what's going on with yours?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this is actually 9 weeks, 9 bullish weeks. So that's weird. I've got a bullish week. I don't have that bearish week there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9,
yeah, this is the 10th week now.
This would be the 10th week if it closed bullish. Yeah.
There's I think there's an indicator that's like 9 in a row or something, and the next one's supposed to be bearish. But
sure.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
Doesn't look that way right now, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty good still.
What I was saying earlier, just about just for those that are watching, going to trade the DAX. Like the DAX has just been a little bit more easier to. There was nice longs this morning. It has been a little bit more easier to trade in like the London session. But like what I'm saying also is I wouldn't buy the NQ so high, whereas the DAX is at. You can look to maybe look for like a long something like this. You could go like maybe stop at the low and look to target back up at those highs. It's at a better level to buy it intraday right now than like an NQ. Is just too far from me, you know.
Cool. I was actually just going to ask you a question about. So would you ever short in a market like this?
I mean, I tried a short yesterday. I was a little bit early. I got stopped out on it. I tried a short here. Where was it? Up at this level here. And then the news came through, took me out, and then it ends up coming all the way back down to where I was looking to take profit. But it is obviously a lot more tough. Yeah, it is a lot more tough.
Yeah, because I got an interesting question just popped up too. Is where does the urge to consistently try to short such bullish markets come from? Which human behavior enforces this? That is a sick question.
I think just wanting to be right. That's the only thing I can think of when I'm looking to short and be an idiot.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think that could be right. Let's just maybe analyze and talk about it for a second. I don't think that's right, because if you want to be right, well, objectively, you look at the chart and you say it's going to go up, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be right, right? You're looking at it go. I think it's like I know more than everyone else sort of thing. I think it's an ego thing where it's like
it is an ego thing. Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, you're like, oh, it has to pull back at some point, and it's like you keep looking for signs, right? You don't want to go with the trend. You want to be that black sheep, the guy that's better than everyone else. But the reality is, how do you make money in trading? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I guess you make money by I guess you could be before the crowd, but you don't want to be too much before the crowd, right? You want to be right in the crowd and get in and out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to be the outsider. You want to be following the trend. And that's the ironic thing is, I guess usually in life, like if you want to be more productive, you know, higher up than a lot of other people, right? You should do the things that other people aren't doing, like, you know, maybe go to the gym or something, right?
Yep.
So maybe that's what's been ingrained in our psyche is, hey, if you want to be different, you have to do differently, right?
Sure.
But the reality is you kind of have to do what the market's telling you, right? What the sentiment is telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the market's just been moving higher lately. And I agree. I think there's also a difference between wanting to be right and making money. Like, I think if you come in with a bias, the market's going to, you know, rotate back down, and you start shorting, but it's only making higher lows or making bullish market structure, that you're going against what, as you said, like that's an ego thing.
Yeah. Good question though, dude. Good question.
Yeah, let's see if there's any more here in the chat. But so you haven't been trading much recently, Hunter? Not on that. Have you just been swing trading that personal account?
Yeah, I have a small personal account that I play around with, and then we trade on some Maven funds as well.
Okay.
On the live stream, but it's more for, you know, it's, you know, I'm not going to swing trade on that. It's more for the live stream and whatnot, right? Sure. But sometimes we take a couple trades. I'm currently looking at metals to do super well now. Gold is failing to make new lows, kind of on an important level. Copper, on the other hand, too, is, you know, actually, did you see? I want to show you something here. I don't know if you saw this, but Micron. Somebody on the stream yesterday pointed this out to me. Do you see Micron?
I didn't see Micron actually.
Do you see that? Do you see this chart?
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
It's up 90% last month.
90% in a month.
90% in a month.
Stop putting money into our retirement accounts and just put it into Micron. Also, look at SanDisk. What's SanDisk doing?
Yeah, SanDisk, the same sort of thing, right? So the reality is, like, look at this. Since the start of the year, like, I didn't even realize this. Since the start of the year, SanDisk is up 640%. This is literally just looks like a meme coin at this point.
That is, it's actually wild.
And we'll go Micron. Let's see, since the start of the year. Yeah, almost 400%. So that's what's been moving the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Is you know, NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA kind of slowed down, but this last recent rally, if we look at NVIDIA, it's not pumping like the NASDAQ is, right? So I was trying to figure out what's going on, and somebody on the stream said, hey, it's Micron. Micron controls 9% of the NASDAQ's movement.
Sure.
Right. So if it's pumping 90%, you know what I mean? That's 10% on the NASDAQ.
9% of the controls 9% of the NASDAQ.
Yeah, that's, I looked it up, unless I'm mistaken.
It's what percentages are in the NASDAQ?
Yeah, because you know, maybe because it's such a massive stock at this point.
Let's have a look. I'll be interested in it, but because I would think NVIDIA was the main one.
Well, NVIDIA is the main one, I think, right? NVIDIA is the biggest one, right? Unless I'm mistaken and read something else, but
you know, yeah, NVIDIA is the biggest one at 8.69%. I don't know where Micron is. Let's ask, where is Micron?
Oh, maybe I'm tripping. Got the wrong one.
I think the peacocks were telling you the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked the peacocks there.
Micron is 2.7%.
Oh wow! How did I get 9 then? Anyways, maybe I was looking at the top one and I got confused because it was like just under 9, so 8.9 or something like that. You know. Anyways, that is absolutely one of the major movers for the NASDAQ.
Of course, I mean that still 2% is pretty big in the NASDAQ.
So that is all. Let's get rid of this chart here. That is all. You know, discs, right? It's metal, right? And these discs need metal. The copper has not started pumping yet, so I'm super crazy bullish on copper right now. I've got, you know, half my portfolio in gold and copper, because I think these are going to be continued. These are going to be super safe, especially if there's some war concerns, right? They're a little bit safer, right? I don't think this pump on the NASDAQ is sustainable. You know, because at what point do we okay, so let's break it down logically in my mind, and maybe somebody in the comments can fight me, right? If I'm wrong, or James, you can fight me.
Sure.
But why is SanDisk and Micron pumping, right? It's because the data centers need hard drives, basically, right? And so as long as the data centers are making money, then they're going to keep buying more hard drives, right? But the issue I see is who is investing in these data centers? It's AI, right? So is AI able to invest in data centers? I don't think so. I think they're losing money each month.
I think they're losing money as well. That's going to be interesting when OpenAI IPOs.
Yeah. So we looked up the IPOs. I think, what was it?
Yes, we did. We saw, I think it was like next June and then September.
Yeah. So at some point this year, we're gonna learn when their earnings come in, and that's going to be the true test. When the earnings come in, we're going to know, hey, are these guys profitable? And that could potentially, that decision of whatever the earnings are is going to determine the next 5-10 years. If there's a massive depression, or if this just keeps going straight up, right?
Yeah.
If they can make profitability, then this is sustainable, right?
Sure.
So they've got what? 3 months, dude,
to rack it up.
3 months to figure this out, and I don't think they're profitable right now, and I'm not sure they're going to have the time in order. I think they will be profitable, but I don't think they're going to have enough time to show their first earnings report as a profitable one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I've been reading all about it. Like, it could be a bubble and everything like that. So I'm probably in agreement with that. Maybe the market starts to have a pullback then when these things are up here, and then we see that they actually aren't even making money.
I want to see, you said the last time the ES was super crazy bullish was the 90s, right?
Yeah, I can try and find the article after stream, and maybe we can bring it up on next week as well to see if it was the 10th week.
Let's look. I want to see what happened in the 90s then. Oh wow. Now, it might have been, let me pull up this chart real quick. It might have been this rally.
Sure.
And
yeah.
I looking at this right now, hey, I might be mistaken, right? Because these are the monthly candles, by the way.
Yep.
And I'm that guy trying to time the top. I'm currently long, but in my mind, I'm trying to time the top. That guy that's talking about, what's the problem with us always trying to time the top? It's the ego, right?
Yep.
And I've got the ego in my brain right now, and I'm like, I'm trying to time the top. I'm smarter than everyone else, right?
Exactly.
But looking at this right now, it's like, okay, in the 90s, you went, what is this? Freaking 2 years every month going straight up. Like, and then, maybe, and then it went more straight up. You know what I mean?
It's probably also after with the 2000.com era as well, right?
Yeah. So this was when the internet started becoming, and this is what I'm trying to compare to is the .com bubble, right? And when do you happen to know? Can you look up for me? Like, when did, like the internet and web 1.0,
okay,
web 2.0, I guess, start being popularized, I suppose.
So
right?
web 2.0 after the .com era, basically.
Yeah. So I suspect it's mid 90s, right? So I think internet came out early 90s, and then it
2004. .com was late 90s. .com crashed 2002. Yeah. Web 2.0 era starts gaining traction around 2004, 2005.
So if it's 2004, and you can see it here, actually, you can see it here on the chart, that's what started taking off, right? And so I guess it was about 6 years after it started becoming popular that it actually crashed. And funny enough, that's actually, I guess it depends on, is AI starting to become popular now, or was it starting to become popular in 2020 when it started? Sure. Right? That was 6 years ago. Right? Yeah. Like, I guess it really depends. Where are we in this cycle? Because at some point, it's probably going to collapse somehow, right? At some point, it has to collapse, right? We just don't know if it's this decade or next, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it definitely is very interesting right now. But I also think like trading individual stock names is not a bad thing either at the minute, especially with the NASDAQ and that just rallying. Like, I personally love trading like Tesla and NVIDIA intraday too, as well as swing trading, Hunter. I personally like it, so I do it on my CFD cash account, personal account, but there are some prop firms that allow it too. But where we're sitting at the indexes, it's actually like, I don't know about you, but when you come into the day every single day and it's like right at all-time highs, you're like, geez, I'd rather go trade like maybe Tesla that's got a little bit of more room towards the upside.
Yeah. If you do individual stocks, sure. I'm more of a fan of just not looking
NASDAQ only.
then I don't have to make decisions. I trade the NASDAQ, right?
Yeah. But you do swing trade stocks as well, right? As you've mentioned.
Occasionally, I was more last year, but lately I've not been, just because different margin requirements. Like being in Canada, if I put margin into stocks, then I can't use it on my intraday trades and swing trades and whatnot, right? The stocks are more long-term plays, really.
Let me. There's actually a question here that someone was asking. About journaling. They asked something, should you journal or can you do it? Should you buy the journaling service or can you use it by hand? I personally like journaling. I know a lot of people, some maybe aren't, but I think if you don't know your stats, I know the prop firms, the back end will give you like where you make, what time of day you're making money, when you're making money. You should know those statistics, because if you, let's say you're trading the NASDAQ and the DAX, but you're making no money on the NASDAQ, you should probably just stick to the DAX and vice versa, right? The other way around. And times of days as well, especially as traders. I think if you don't know the score, you don't know, where you're making your money. So
yeah. And I guess if you were to make your own, I'd probably use an Excel sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
put your data, or even put your data into ChatGPT and ask it to spit out the data for you.
Oh, that's not too bad, actually. That's a good idea. I was going to say you really need to know how to make like charts properly on Excel.
Sure. No, we're gonna put it into ChatGPT, so hopefully they start making money.
It's crazy because they don't charge us anything for that service.
I know, it is actually pretty crazy. I personally pay for it, but I use it quite often, like every day.
Yeah, I pay for Grok, Super Grok through Maven, but
yeah.
Twitter kind of comes with Twitter.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, exactly. Twitter, that's actually very good for financial stuff. Like Grok is a lot better at financial stuff than ChatGPT because it's got all the data from into it, right?
Yeah, I'm cautious with math on ChatGPT because it's given me some really bad.
It's giving me some bullshit answers sometimes. I'm like, no, that's incorrect. Like, yeah.
I think what it does is ChatGPT more scours the internet for information, and if if the information on the internet is wrong, then it just uses that data. Where like Grok's probably more like, okay, these are the actual math. This is the actual math. Sure. Hard-coded math into it, maybe. But
yeah,
if you had to just gut instinct, where in? Okay, so I'm gonna pull up actually.
And then I do have a question here. Someone's actually got a good question here too, in the chat.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna pull up this chart here. Okay.
So this is something, just while you're pulling up the chart, Hunter, someone's asking a question here. They're saying they're down 7% in your account. Which is better, go all in for fast recovery or blow the account and restart fresh with a new one, or patiently follow the plan? This is often actually what I do. If I'm taking a challenge, so I don't take all my challenges at the same time. What I mean by that is I know some people like copy trading and everything like that. Let's just say you want to get 200K in funding, you'll buy 2 100K accounts and copy trade. I don't do that. I'll buy one 100K account 1 week, and then maybe in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, I'll buy the second one. So I think a good thing for you to do, I might be down on the first one in the first week, and then I'll buy the second one and trade it normally like I would, and then it actually brings that other one out of drawdown while also making money, or trying to pass the second one as well. So personally, I would say buy a second one and start and trade it normally, and then that 7% one might come out of drawdown by trading your normal natural way.
All right, good question. Okay, I'm going to show you this right here. So you've obviously seen this. Of course. Maybe some people watching might not have seen it.
Yeah.
If you had to give a gut instinct, okay, so anyone who wants to say, hey, it's up forever, sure. NASDAQ stock market, they more or less go up forever. Bitcoin also more or less goes up forever. But the Bitcoin cycles are much more obvious because it's a newer asset, right? Much less liquid, right? This still happens on the regular market and the housing market on longer term timeframes and to a smaller scale, okay? And that's just a given. There will be a collapse at some point. We just don't know when. It could be 20 years, okay? If you had to guess, James, where on this cycle with gut instinct would you say we are?
We're right at the top.
You think we're right at the top, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were to guess, I would say I would guess a little bit before the top, because we haven't had
maybe slightly before the top. Yeah.
We haven't had a straight up something straight up quite yet. So I think there's still time. But I don't think we're in the, that's the question I was trying to ask before is, are we here or are we here? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's definitely an interesting one. We go to where the markets are right now, though. Like, look. So we on the index. We are. I agree with that. But if we do go to some individual stock names, like even on the Mag 7, some of them aren't trading at all-time highs, like your Tesla. Tesla's still like 20% of all-time highs. What's Apple doing? Apple's at all-time highs.
Yeah, but Tesla is not what's ruling this market right now. What's ruling this market is
chips.
Yeah, it's the data centers, the AI.
Yeah.
And Tesla is, what's funny enough is, 5 years ago, Tesla was the big boy, right? But now it's,
no, they're not the big boy.
Now it's SpaceX, so the SpaceX is going to IPO, and they've comboed Grok into SpaceX, right? It's a 2-for-1 sort of deal. So, that's going to be a big boy once it launches off. I'm not sure if it's going to be more or less than Tesla, but it's a brand new IPO and it's 1.7 billion or something, or trillion, sorry. So
sure. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Tesla, as you said, like 4 or 5 years ago, used to be massive. Now they're not really driving this market, as you said, but it did. Apparently, SpaceX and is going to be bought by Tesla. Apparently, I don't know. I read that as well. Did you see that?
SpaceX is going to be bought by Tesla,
and they're all going to run as one.
Oh, so it's going to be Grok or
Correct.
XAI, SpaceX, and Tesla all as one.
And then it will trade as it will trade as one. So if Tesla, obviously, because then Tesla's going to own them, basically. They're going to, I don't know, they're going to merge or something like that into one.
Yeah, I'm confused why you would even IPO then.
Yeah, I know. I heard that as well. Then I agree with you. I was like, why would you IPO if you're just going to get bought out by the main company?
Yeah, I think these IPOs are exit liquidity
for the founders,
for the founders and early investors, and because why else would you hype up an evaluation so incredibly higher than it's actually worth?
Yeah.
I think it's all a plan. They're gonna hype it up as much as possible, get a crazy, insane IPO. It's gonna spike. People are gonna FOMO in, and then a month later, they're all gonna sell off, and then for the next 3 years, it's gonna be down until nobody's interested anymore, and they'll reinvest. Reinvest after everyone lost their money. Well, it's all a plan, man. All right.
Let's have a look at just before we leave, any updates on Maven's side? I know you had that new challenge. I know when we were speaking in person with the OMO challenge and stuff like that. Yep. So how have traders been liking that?
Yeah, it's a mix between people doing the 2-step and the OMO now.
Okay, so the 2-step is still quite popular, yeah?
2-step's pretty popular, yeah. It's the OMO is a little bit like a cheaper version sort of thing, where if people want even lower price.
Maybe we can speak on this. What are your thoughts on this? I've seen quite a few firms actually come out with this idea. I don't know if the OMO challenge is this, but this is very similar to like gambling, bro. They've put out like, okay, you put in the amount that you want, and you got like a multiplier, and you got like 24 hours to make as much money as or pass the requirements, and then you get like the payout on your multiplier, something like that.
Well, Maven was actually original to do that. Is the Maven Mini?
Oh, okay, sick. I didn't know that.
So a few firms copied us after we did that, and it's
okay. So you were like the founder, you were like the OG ones of that, like
Maven's done a lot of interesting innovations. We might not be the largest firm, right? But our ideas are really interesting, right? And then the larger firms copy us. I like
the innovation like that too. That's something different to some traders, because some traders don't want to sit in for 2 months waiting for a payout.
Yeah, and we did discontinue the mini, partly because there was some cheating going on, and because it's so fast paced, it's a little bit crazier. But we do plan to bring it back. I think we've been working on a new way to launch it, basically the same sort of Same sort of style, based same. Not. I don't think we're changing much. We just bring it back after we've kind of cleaned out some of the
get the cheaters out.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole idea of a short time frame challenge is, you know, hey, I want to pay out today, right? And there's no offer in the world that's, hey, you can get paid in 4 hours, right, after buying.
Sure.
Right? So you just take a few trades, right? Obviously, it's difficult because it's, you know, you have to do it in one day.
Sure.
But it's more fun and it's playful and it's super cheap, right? So it's to learn and practice, right? But, you know, I don't expect longer term serious traders that do things for a living to be trading single day ones. But if you want to play,
no, of course, that's more for the punters, bro.
Yeah, it's for a little game, you know, like realistically. If I wanted to have a fun Friday night, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the, I would, you know, I'd do a 24-hour one and be like,
oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you do it on a Saturday night.
No, Hunter goes to the casino with his laptop and trades while at the casino.
I tried that. I tried that in Puerto Rico, and I got kicked out immediately.
They wouldn't allow you to do that.
No, I brought the laptop in, camera and everything. There's a little video on my Instagram somewhere, and I pulled up a trading terminal and I put it on the slot machine, and then I was just pushing buttons, and the guy came over immediately. He's like, "You got to gamble, bro. You can't be in here if you're not spending money." I was like, "I am, just not for you." It's like it's a much better way to make money than the slot
dude. I
machine.
agree. Like someone's like, oh, like if I give you $1,000 and let's go to the casino, I'm like, dude, honestly, I'd rather put the $1,000 in a trading account and try and spin it up that way than lose it playing flipping roulette or some crap.
Yeah, there's no chance I want to be sitting in a dingy, you know, bunch of old dudes smoking,
and you smell like a flipping bar room afterwards, bro.
Yeah. I'd rather do it here. Invite a couple buddies over, have dinner, and then gamble.
Do like a 24-hour challenge, but try and do it in 1 hour.
Yeah. The issue is most firms don't have weekend trading, so this is an interesting. You know, Maven has the weekend tradiing.
Yeah, you guys got the Bitcoin on weekends, right?
Gold Eternal. We have gold and Bitcoin.
Oh yes, you got that gold. Yes, you do. You did tell me about that. Yeah.
Anyways, dude. Mavens and, you know, whatever, I suppose. I don't know what I want to call you guys.
Maven watches.
Right, guys, that's our stream. Thanks for tuning in. The winner of the 50K will be posted. I got a couple questions here. I'm going to pick between them. And see you next week, dude.
Yes, sir. Cheers,
ciao.
Bro.